Coming up is Jayveer Kochhar. He doesn't look stressed or anxious. Maybe because his invention might have a solution? Let's see what he has in store for us. Hi, Jayveer.
Hi,
How old are you, Jayveer?
I'm 13 years old.
13 years old.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
And are you the coolest kid in class?
I'll leave that up to the class to decide.
Nice.
We may not know that, but you're definitely the coolest kid on this set.
Thanks a lot.
So please go ahead. Stage is yours. This is your moment. Go for
Okay.
it.
It was just another day at my robotics class when me and my friend Dhruv were discussing about our lives. We then started discussing about his exams which were coming up. And we started discussing about how stressed he was. As we discussed this further, we realized that during the lockdown, we weren't the only people who were stressed. And by knowing that you have stress and anxiety, you've already solved half the problem. Us being robotics students, we should make an invention that solves this problem. So we got started, and that was how our project Breathe Free was born. Breathe Free uses our chest and belly expansion and breathing's direct correlation to stress and anxiety to further scale it. We have two boxes in this device. One is a 2-inch by 3-inch box and a second 0.5-inch by 2-inch box. These go around your chest and belly respectively, and they each have straps. Using a force-sensitive resistor, we measure how much these straps are being pulled and then determine how many deep breaths, shallow breaths and so on you have. Then we use a Python code, data processing, and using an FPDF library, we create a PDF report that tells you about your deep breaths, shallow breaths, and also your stress levels.
Wow, amazing. I love that his story starts with one day in robotics class. That's amazing.
And so your device, it doesn't actually reduce stress. It simply tells you when you are getting stressed out
Yeah.
or you're consistently getting stressed over a period of time.
Yeah.
So that you can start making changes in your lifestyle.
Correct.
Got it.
So I have 2 points over here. One is a thought and one is a question. My thought is that I think it's absolutely amazing that you're looking at a topic like mental health. My question is this something that will be permanently kept on as a belt on your chest and stomach? And if so, then what would be the practicality of that if you are experiencing medium to long-term issues with anxiety and stress?
So our project is aimed to be given to the consumer through doctors and therapists who help you deal with this stress. And this could be used as a tool to measure it for them. So you don't necessarily need to wear it 24/7, but the longer you wear it, the more accurate your results. And you don't need to wear it for the rest of your life, just as long as your therapist feels or your doctor feels that he needs to check your stress levels.
It's quite cool because it's quite a nice preventive to a lot of things. We're always tackling things the other way. So what would be your next focus point? What would you do if you get to the lab stage?
If I get to the lab stage, I have two main objectives. One is a redesign of the outer box of our prototype, make it more sleek. We are also working on making a machine learning code that will make it more accurate.
How will you translate the measure of emotion to coding, to machines, etc.? Because that's a whole different, people will have different thresholds of that. So how will you kind of figure that out?
The current prototype, we have like a short calibration period, but since we intend to make it be used more long term, for one day we would calibrate our code. So to measure like your highest points of breath and your lowest, so that we come to know exactly how much is a deep breath and how much is a normal breath for you.
Awesome.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. That was really great presentation.
Great job.
You stressed me out, so much stress.
You must respirate.
All I was doing at 13 was daydreaming. And the only belt that I knew was either a karate belt or like a belt around my waist.
Yeah, you must keep belting out such amazing ideas.
Hai na? Oh yeah. I like
Thank you.
Madhuk's one-liners. Let's go backstage and let's listen to what the other inventors
Great
have
work.
to say.
Great
Thank
work.
you.
Aajkal ke bache, literally, it's
Yeah.
just mind-bending that he's
Yeah.
thought of something where they're aware of the concept of anxiety and stress.
Absolutely.
And that in the robotics class, solving for it.
When I was a bacha and when people were talking about aajkal ke bache, they were definitely saying bad
Different
things.
things.
And now they're saying amazing things. And
No, what is amazing is that he has this uncanny ability to just completely step into what I would call New Age India,
yeah,
and how he's just thinking about things which will take us to the future.
Hello, Jay.
Hello.
Welcome to Omutech.
Thank you.
What's your thinking about the prototyping? What are the steps that you intend to take?
This is a face-on thing of my box. So my FSR sensor would be placed here. This would press on this, and that's how the pressure was generated. There's like a strap going around like this. So when this strap is pulled, this strap goes down and applies pressure on the sensor, and then all of my electronics are stacked over here. Let's say this was my Arduino over here. So obviously my Arduinos aren't meant for high processing codes. So instead what I do is I have a Bluetooth module here attached as well, and that same Bluetooth module goes into my computer. So right now in my computer all I have is a CSV file which has all my data points.
Sure.
Not processed, nothing done. But now what Python code does is, which is on my laptop, it processes all this data.
Right. And what have your challenges been with the processing codes?
Right now I have my deep breaths, shallow breaths, normal breaths, breathing rate, things like that. Now I need to take all of that data and convert it directly into a stress score out of 10, out of 100, whatever it may be.
It's very interesting with the same kind of data sets. One of the earliest studies was about how in the neonatal cases, exactly the same thing that you have been working on, particularly in babies, right? It was one of the first test cases where they looked at suffocation by children when the parents have not monitored them. So suffocated deaths and how those data points have actually given a lot of indication of how parents could watch the patterns with the respiratory, pulmonary readings, and which is very, very relevant. But now if we had to move forward, right? So you're still not at the app level, you're not getting there because you just want to refine the prototype and get all of its reading and the data sets going.
Correct. The first step of my design process, we thought about basic things like how I would wear this strap, the FSR sensor, the Arduino. We made even a small 3D model to see how it would fit around a person. One of the issues I faced over here, many a times the 3D print would not fit with the actual electronics, so I'd have to modify it and make it again. In the next phase, I started with the electronics. I actually wired and soldered every part of it, including the FSR sensor, the Arduino, the Bluetooth communication module, and much more. The main challenge I faced here with my soldering would always come loose, and I would often have to re-solder a lot of wires in my prototype. While writing the code, I learned about multiple different libraries, and over time I also refined this code to be more and more accurate and finally convert deep and shallow breaths into an actual stress meter.
All the data sets that he has collected from his immediate friends and relatives, he has to combine the hardware and the software and proceed from there.
Over here I realized that not everyone will have the same values when they put the strap on depending on how tight or loose they put it. So I added a calibration code as well as a lot of error correction code. The first thing for an inventor is the need or the want to solve a problem, because if you don't have that, if you don't have the drive to solve a problem, then you aren't going to find them. If you have the drive to solve a problem, problems will come to you and you'll be able to solve them. So do you know what the biggest problem today in the world is? Stress. And my device will analyze, collect and correct your stress using inspiration from yoga and breathing techniques. So my device uses your breathing to find your stress. You simply need to strap on the two boxes and buckle them up on your chest and belly and run the code, and my program will do the rest. After 90 seconds, there'll be a window popping up that will tell you your stress level. And make sure to look at the numbers on the left. Those will tell you your exact stress. And then after that, you can simply shut the window and your test is concluded.
एंजाइटी रेस्पिरेटरी बेल्ट मुझे रेलेवेंट नहीं लगा क्योंकि जब हमने टेस्ट किया सो मेरा लेवल वाज 2 and I was thinking about the worst thing and I was a little bit stressed.
the anxiety respiratory belt. I kind of liked the concept of it. I was really fascinated because I'm someone who's also passionate about Python. So I was really interested in the product.
I tested myself. It was good. It was something which I've seen for the first time. Instead of having 2 attachments, it should be 1 attachment where everything is combined together.
I'm just going to run the
I'm
test.
seeing a few lines of code over here as well.
And the test has started.
It has.
So what is it exactly testing now?
Can you walk
So-
us through it?
Yeah, so right now it's calibrating.
Okay.
Where obviously everyone will wear it at a different tightness. So it's gonna it calibrates first.
Okay.
And now you can see actually the data coming through.
By calibrating it, it's basically like understanding your regular heart rate
Yeah.
and your regular breathing pattern, and then it sets it as the equilibrium and then
Yeah,
looks for
exactly.
anomalies.
A baseline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's pretty much what it does.
So what
Got
are the
it.
results telling us about you now?
It says you're feeling a lot more relaxed than before.
Yeah, my stress is between 1 and 2.
Okay.
This is out of 10, so
Okay.
around 2.5 is my
So you have
stress.
a very low stress level.
Yeah.
Okay, very
It's
cool.
Too cool for
This
school.
is super cool. All right, now somebody is supposed to keep wearing this throughout the day too.
Correct.
But they're not supposed to keep plugging it in. It's connected through Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So they basically get a report at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Or if
Got
you
it.
feel the symptoms coming on, you can then go and see where you're at.
correct.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Thank you, Claude.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That is absolutely amazing.